What's up, chat? Real quick, I started saying that because 30 for 30 has me in a chokehold. I am in love with that song. I don't know, something about it. So I was just like, you know, I'm actually gonna treat this vlogging thing as if I'm streaming. Make it a little bit more personal and free, and yeah. So I look like what I've been through. Okay, let's just start there because I know you see it. My son tossed and turned all night. He was up at 3. He was up again around 5. And it is now 7:48. I can tell that he is very extremely uncomfortable. Yesterday, all he wanted to do was lay down. He wanted to sleep. He wanted to lay down. He would have little moments where he would play, and then he's laying back down. And my husband, very selective appetite, very groggy. He looks like he's in pain. He dozed off in the living room last night. I had to force him to get in the bed, and he slept. I ain't hear nothing from that man all night. I heard a couple coughs, but that's about it. So there's that. I'm preparing myself to take care of the boys today, okay? And I should go to the gym. Probably won't do that. Probably won't do that. But I'm also thinking about the fact that my husband's already sick. He's not feeling good. Dealing with my son is you ever dealt with a sick toddler? If you have, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, keep living. So I'm trying to be considerate of that. I have to go and get my son's medicine at 9 o'clock when the pharmacy opens up. So just thinking about time. I'm currently sitting here doing schoolwork. Proof, doing some schoolwork, okay? I had to submit discussion forums, and I'm reminded of why I never went back to school before now. But I'm trying to keep myself motivated and keep my eyes on the prize. My grandmother and I were on the phone last week. She just randomly like started talking to me about something, and I was like, let me pay attention, because I'm learning when your elders just start putting you on game, like you need to pay attention. My grandmother was like, you know, the thing about life is that we have to make mistakes, and we have to learn from them, and we have to realize that we're not always right. Because if we go on about life with this idea that we're always right, that's not good. At first I was like, why is she telling me this? I don't need to hear that. And then I was like, but you know what? That's the whole point. You sitting here thinking you don't need to hear it like you're always right. And that's a dangerous place to be in. It's 8 o'clock and I want to edit, because once my son wakes up, he's on me, bro.
I love this key verse about even just being ordinary, because we think that we need to have the special training, and we think that we have to be preordained, and then we have to have these credentials, and we have to have these accreditations and these degrees. But I believe that even where you are, even where you are in your business building journey, even where you are in your stage of your brand journey, I believe that you don't need any special training to show up in boldness.
All right. I look like I'm cold, right? I ain't gonna hold you, it is cold. Whew. My husband woke up right as I was walking out of the door. I'm hoping that my son will stay asleep until I get back, at least. I'm just running to Walmart. I'm not even gonna go inside. I'm just gonna do the drive-thru so I can get his medicine and come right back home. But yeah, I don't have anything to talk about since the last time I turned the camera on. I've actually been enjoying editing the footage that I have. It's so interesting to me because sometimes while I'm filming, it feels like this is pointless. It's so mundane. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not luxurious, and it's not. But while I'm watching the playback and going through the footage and editing and putting everything together, it's like, yeah, but it's purposeful. You know what I mean? It's purposeful. And also, like, it's just, that's my life. This time last year, I was really wrestling with being content with how my life was. Primarily because nothing has gone the way I wanted it to go. When it comes to my life, when it comes to my marriage, when it comes to my motherhood journey, when it comes to my child. I'm about to be 32, and where I'm at is not at all where I thought I would be. Not so much where I had planned to be. Well, yeah, planned thought, hope, dream, discovered, whatever. But yeah, all the things, whatever. For a while, I wrestled with that. I thought, you can't be this woman of faith and be having these feelings. And even still, more importantly, you definitely can't share this stuff with nobody, because people are going to judge you. And people are going to see you as fraudulent because this is your struggle. How the old folks used to say, I say old folks like I'm not part of the crew now. Like, I'm in the group. But like they used to say back in the day, keep on living, right? And it's like, I used to feel ashamed about this feeling, and I definitely used to feel ashamed about voicing it. And now I'm like, this is normal. Everybody at some point in their life, they're gonna look and say, this is not where I thought I would be. This is not what I thought I would be dealing with. Especially when we're walking this faith journey and we're walking this journey with God, at some point, you're gonna have a moment where you're facing discontentment. It's absolutely normal. That doesn't mean that you should stay there, but you also shouldn't feel guilty about being there, about climbing this mountain of contentment, right? Or discontentment. Like, you shouldn't feel some type of way about it. Holding this tripod is for the birds.
Hi. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, you do the same. I'm sitting here in deep thought. Took my son to the doctor yesterday because he had a cold, but it wasn't leaving. I was doing all the things and it wasn't leaving, but even when it did seemingly leave, it came right back. And I took him to the doctor, and she was like, what brings you in? And I'm telling her why we're there. And then I said, you know, I just want to make sure it's just a cold and not like flu, pneumonia, whatever, RSV, whatever. So then I said, also, while we're here, could you check his ears? I just want to make sure everything's cool, because I noticed a few days ago he started kind of like rubbing at his ear. Not in a like consistent manner, but I noticed that he did it a few times, and I was like, huh, he's only ever had one ear infection in his life thus far. So she's like, yeah, got you. She's looking at his ear, and she's like, yeah, he does have an ear infection. And then she said, him having an ear infection would explain why he's not fighting off this other infection. One infection is weakening his system and it's hindering him from fighting the other infection. And I was so glad that I took him in, because a person who's able to fully assess the situation, they know what they're looking for. The physician, right? I'm going somewhere. If I had not taken him in there for her to look at, then I would have just been treating a cold, waiting for it to go away, and then the other infection would have gotten worse because we didn't know it was there and we weren't treating it. I'm not trying to be deep, I'm just sharing what's on my mind. That happens in our spiritual walk sometimes, where we think we're treating one thing and we're wondering why this thing is not getting better. We're dealing with the one thing, but it's not getting better, and we're wondering why. And our failure to actually go to our Father for help, right? But also like whoever he may put in position, a mentor, a counselor, community, our failure to go to them for help doesn't make things better at all. It actually makes things worse. And we're constantly dealing with the one thing while the other thing is getting worse, because we're not treating it, because we don't even know that it's there. I remember when my husband and I separated, and I'm like, God, deal with this one thing. And he's like, okay, but there's something else that I need to deal with first, because if I don't deal with that, this won't get better. The healing won't come if I don't deal with this first. Or even like the video I was listening to this morning, she said, culture is telling us we need more confidence. Confidence is not what we need. Discipline is what we need. You're confident enough. You're fine in confidence. You don't need more of that. But you do need self-discipline. We're dealing with the one thing, Lord, build me up in confidence. Help me to be more confident. While the discipline is not getting better, because we don't even realize that discipline is a problem. Discipline is a weakness. Discipline is the thing that we need to be working on. It's interesting. We're back home. We got the meds. I'm in mommy mode. I don't get a minute to adjust or anything like that. I said that I wanted him to wait till I got back, and he kind of did. Picked up his medicine for his ear infection. 7.5 twice a day. All right, let's go ahead and get this ready. Good morning, people. I am happy to report that my son's fever broke. He is back to his normal temperature. Thank you, Jesus. He is actually asleep right now. So I'm in the room. We're about to get some editing done, okay? I do need to check into my class as well. But we're about to sit at this here computer for a little while. Not sure how long he's gonna sleep for. Typically, he only sleeps for about 2 hours when he wakes up super early in the morning, and then he goes back to sleep. So I'm looking at about a 2-hour window here to get as much done as possible. I'm gonna try to chat with y'all a little bit. I don't really have anything to talk about. We're gonna end up going to the store at some point, but I think I'm just gonna do a grocery pickup order. That way we don't have to get out of the car. Yeah.
And you're right.
We're not finished. All right, people. I am done at the computer. I need to eat and give myself an opportunity to just not think about that. It's 10 o'clock now. I also want to make myself another drink, and I need to check on my son real quick. Okay, he's good, so we're gonna get started here. We're in the car is all warmed up. I look like I'm mad close to the steering wheel, right? But anyway, we gotta go to the doctor. Just some tests we're having done for him. So we're on our way to the doctor. It is not even 8 o'clock yet. His lab work was perfect, which I'm glad about. Yeah, mommy is so glad about that, okay? So what I thought was going on is not going on, which I'm glad to know about. We're gonna go home now. And I'm gonna give him the opportunity to actually start his day the way he wants to start his day. He didn't play with any toys this morning or do his usual morning routine. So we're heading home now. Amen. What's up, chat? Last week took a turn, okay? My husband and my son got sick. It was as if I had twins, taking care of both of them. My husband was miserable. My son was miserable, okay? That was actually the week before last. And so last week, we let my son go to school one day out of the week. Yeah, one day where he had his regular routine, school, therapy, and everything was fine until that afternoon. When I picked him up from school, he was not doing well. He didn't want to do anything. He barely had an appetite. Fever on and off. I did end up taking him to the doctor. I really didn't vlog because we were in the house. We've been in the house for some days now. Outside of running to the store for things that we needed, we've been inside. Yesterday was a very overstimulating day for me towards the end of the day, which I think has more to do with me being a little sleep deprived. I got a good bit of sleep last night, so I'm hopeful that today will be a lot better. Physical touch is not my top 2 love languages. Love my kids, so I deal and I endure. It can be difficult. So anyway, I'm feeling much better today. I got my schoolwork done and out the way. I have videos that I need to edit. I have virtue vlogs that I need to get edited so that they can get posted. We're supposed to get some interesting weather this upcoming week, so we anticipate that the kids will be out again, maybe the whole week. So I'm not going to be able to record the way that I would like. which is interesting because I had a plan for this month and nothing has gone to plan, okay? But it's okay. We're still moving forward. We're still pressing towards our goal, our mark, whatever, regardless of what comes our way. So I haven't been able to record. My son got sick. I wasn't able to really edit, so nothing dropped last week. But it's okay. We're still gonna go forward. I'm choosing not to focus so much on deadlines as much as I'm focused on getting it done. I'm shifting my focus from focusing on deadlines and focusing on time and time crunching and rushing to get it done. And I'm instead choosing to focus on getting it done. So there's some things that are out of my control, like my son getting sick, like the weather being crazy and the school shutting down. And this plays a part in hindering me from recording. That's out of my control. But what I can control is when I have the time, now that I've taken care of everything that needs to be taken care of, when I have the time, I'm gonna get this done. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna get started with editing. I also need to work on clearing out my phone. My birthday trip is coming up. I need to have all the space. It is such a monumental trip for me, and I wanna document it in every which way possible while I'm there. But anyway, enough talking. Let's get to work. For me, I can speak for myself. So today is the day that they took away TikTok, but they also took away CapCut. I feel like this is a really good lesson for us all. If we're gonna go Bible, this is a really good lesson for us. But naturally, life be presenting us with curveballs and obstacles, and life is full of change, right? So since we cannot edit in CapCut, I was able to pull up mine on my desktop. I'm whispering like they can hear me. They probably can. But I was able to pull mine up on my desktop, so I'm trying to get through this 30-minute clip and get it exported. But I'm also being proactive. Like, don't bet on being able to do this for a long time, right? It's kind of a miracle that I'm able to do it right now. I also downloaded Premiere Rush. I have Adobe. I just only use Lightroom. So yes, this forces me to learn something new. No, it's not something I want to do. If we're gonna be editing videos, baby girl, we gotta do what we gotta do. I have some stuff to review from my journal. So while this is doing what it does, we're gonna go to the couch. I'm gonna leave the volume up so I can hear it if it's done, it'll give me playback. I wanna know. So I'm gonna leave the volume up while this is working, and then we'll come back and check